Hello, I had originally planned to move on to the tutorials, but I realized I have to update on the Pico W ESP32 BLE series that I filmed a while back. I'll link the playlist in the description as well as the Medium article series and the GitHub repo related to the code and for both PCBs. Thanks again to PCBWay for making this possible. Let's get started. Alright folks, so let's first break down what we're going to do. So we're going to revisit this series where we have the ESP32 as the peripheral and the Pico as the central device. So we're going to be using the code from this GitHub repo, and also we'll be using the PCB from here and from here. So again, what we'll do first is we'll involve the basics, as you can see here. Then we'll do the potentiometer and button control as we've done before. So now let's get both PCBs ready. So I'm going to plug in I have now plugged in the Pico, and I'm going to plug in the ESP32. So let's go to Thani. So I'm going to go to Thani, and of course we have it here. So I'm going to open another instance of Thani, but don't worry, it'll give you a mistake, but it'll give me an error, sorry. But don't worry, we'll switch there. And now we have both boards ready to go. So with everything set, let's just get to the first demo. Alright folks, so I actually did something wrong. I used the wrong code when I was trying this the first time. I was supposed to use this code, which is ESP32 per.py, but it now works. So let's do this again. The ESP32 is right here and the Pico is right here. So we'll first run the ESP32. Now when I tried running it the first time, it gave me an error 560, but as you can see, I have the correct code now. So let's run this here. Okay. It runs and we're getting the temperature just fine. Okay. So now we can stop the code. It's okay. That error is expected when you disconnect. So yeah, demo 1 works just fine. Let's get to demo 2. Alright, so we're in the next demo. This time we're going to use the dual setup. So we're going to use ESP32 per dual and Pico Central dual. And here we are. And of course we have the UUIDs all ready to go. And of course, if you didn't know what that is, it's basically the UUIDs for our file. So again, I will link the playlist in the description and at the end of the video so you can check them out. So let's just get started here. So we'll first run this. All right. Then we'll run this code. And as you can see, it is running just fine. No issues here. The LED is working just fine. I know it's hard to see because I'm recording from a screen, but they do blink. So it is working. So let's exit out of this code as well. And there we go. So now we're done and we can move on to the next demo. Alright folks, so let's move on to the potentiometer code. So I have ESP32 per.py, and we're back to ESP30 Pico Central again. So I have to unplug and plug in again. This happens all the time, so let me do this again. So I'll have to restart the ESP32. Okay, got it. Alright, so let's first run this code. Alright, so we got it. So we'll run this code. And then of course you can see that the potentiometer values right here are updating. And you can see that it's working. Now, let's move back down to 0. So as you can see, potentiometer is working just fine. So now let's stop the code. So I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to stop this. So there you go, another successful demo. But now let's test this with the built-in LED that we added on the PCB. Alright folks, so I had to do take 2 because I had forgotten to get the code ready to go. So I have everything set up. So going back to Pico central PWM.py, I had to change the LED to 3 because that's where it is. But everything else is still the same. So let's just do this again. Yes, because pin 0 is the button. Alright, so now let's get the, it should run now. Okay, so now the LED is on. So let's, you can see the LED get darker. Now let's do it again. And you can see the LED is working pretty well. Just to give you one again, I'm going to decrease it again. And you can see the brightness go down. All right, so I will stop this code and I will stop this code. All right, so that's it for this demo. All right, folks, so let's move on to the next demo. This time it's the button demo. So after I showed you the potentiometer, let's move on to the button. As you can see, we have ESP32 per button, and we're back to Pico Central again. But when we're done, we'll also move on to Central LED, where we will blink the LED. But for now, let's test the button first. All right, so we got it. Now let's run the Pico. Okay, and the button is working. You can see it update to 0. And yeah, it's working just fine. So let's stop the demo now since we know it's working, and we can stop the Pico. So another successful demo, but we're still not done because we have to test the LED blink method with the button. So stay tuned for the last demo. All right, folks, so now we are heading to the next demo. All right, so this time we have ESP32 per button.py. We're back to that again, and this time we have Pico Central LED.py. I did change the LED to 3 because of the PCB. So let's run the ESP32 first. So it should run just fine. All right, so we got that running. So let's run the Pico. Okay, so now let's press the button just to give you a wider viewing angle. You can see the LED press down. So the LED is working as expected. So that's another successful test. So I'm going to stop it now. And I'm going to stop the Pico. And there we go. The last demo for the video. Thank you for watching. I apologize for forgetting about the series. However, after this, we will be returning to the tutorials and demos, and these PCBs will be appearing in the future as well. See you next time.